Forever Spooky on YouTube.
I thought I had the perfect marriage. My wife Mary was beautiful, intelligent, and kind. We had been together for over a decade, and I thought I knew everything about her. But I was wrong. It all started when she began acting strange. She became distant, spent long hours away from home, and seemed to be hiding something from me. I tried to talk to her about it, but she would always change the subject, or tell me that I was imagining things. I became increasingly worried, and one day, I decided to do some investigating. I started going through her emails and text messages, looking for any clues about what she might be hiding. And that's when I found it. A message that read, "Welcome to the family." I was confused and alarmed. What family were they talking about? And why were they welcoming my wife? I confronted her about the message, and after some hesitation, she finally admitted the truth. She had joined a cult. I was shocked, and felt like my whole world had been turned upside down. How could my wife, the woman I loved more than anything, have joined a cult without telling me? I didn't know what to do, so I turned to Adam for help. He had been my best friend since childhood, and I trusted him completely. I told him everything, from her strange behavior, to my fears about what the cult might be doing to her. Adam listened sympathetically and promised to help in any way he could. He even offered to talk to her himself, and see if he could get her to leave the cult. But things only got worse from there. My wife became even more distant, and I started noticing strange symbols and drawings around our house. I knew they were connected to the cult somehow, but I didn't know what they meant. One night, I came home late from work and found my wife missing. I panicked and ran to Adam's house for help. But when I got there, I found him sitting in a room with several other people, including Mary, all wearing robes and chanting in a language I didn't understand. They turned to look at me, and I realized that Adam must have been the one who had recruited my wife into the cult all along. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. My wife and my best friend, the people I trusted more than anyone, had betrayed me. I didn't know what to do, but I knew I had to get her out of there. I grabbed her by the hand and pulled her up, trying to ignore the looks of shock and anger from Adam and the other cult members. We ran out of the house as they chased us, and didn't stop until we were far away. After getting to a safe place, my wife finally snapped out of it, and acknowledged what a terrible mistake she had made. She said that it was never her intention to join the cult, and that Adam had misled her, that the meetings were for a secret financial opportunity. Once there, they brainwashed her into believing their teachings. I decided to forgive her, but I could not forgive Adam. For weeks, Mary and I lived in fear. We kept seeing strange symbols and drawings everywhere, and we knew that the cult was still after us. We couldn't reach out for help, because it was a small town and we didn't know who to trust. And every time we heard a strange noise or saw a suspicious person, our hearts would race with terror. Finally, we decided that we had to confront Adam and the cult. We went back to his house, knowing that it might be a trap, but feeling like we had no other choice. When we arrived, we found Adam sitting in the same room by himself. He looked different. His eyes were sunken and his skin was pale, like he hadn't slept in days. He looked at us with a mixture of sadness and regret. He told us that years ago, he had joined the cult out of curiosity, and that he had been seduced by their promises of enlightenment and eternal life. But he quickly realized that it was all a lie, that the cult was nothing more than a group of delusional and dangerous people. Adam told us that he had tried to leave the cult, but they wouldn't let him go. He had recruited Mary because he thought that she could take his place, but he didn't realize how much harm it would cause. We were stunned by his confession, but we knew we couldn't forgive him just like that. We demanded that he help us expose the cult and get us out of danger. Adam agreed, and together, we hatched a plan. We contacted a journalist who had been investigating cults for years, and we gave him all the information we had. He was skeptical at first, but after doing some digging, he realized that we were onto something big. With his help, we managed to expose the cult to the authorities and the public. They were shut down, and many of the cult members were arrested for their crimes. It was a relief to know that we were finally safe, but we couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. Adam had put us through hell, and we stopped talking to him completely. In the end, my wife and I decided to start anew. We moved to a new city, changed our names, and tried to forget everything that had happened. The aftermath of our ordeal took a toll on our marriage. We were both traumatized by what had happened, and we struggled to move past it. We went to therapy, but it didn't seem to help much. I became paranoid and suspicious, always questioning her every move. It didn't help that we were struggling financially. The legal fees and therapy bills had drained our savings, and we were barely making ends meet. I took on extra work, but it meant that I was rarely home, which only added to our problems. Mary became distant, and I could sense that she was pulling away from me. We stopped talking, and our once happy home became a place of tension and silence. One day, I came home from work to find that Mary had packed her bags. She told me that she couldn't take it any longer, that our marriage was over. I was devastated. I begged her to stay, to give us another chance, but she had made her decision. She said that she needed to start over, to find herself again. I didn't understand why she was leaving. Was it because of what had happened with the cult? Had I pushed her away with my paranoia and distrust? I had so many questions, but I knew that I wouldn't get the answers I needed. Mary moved out, and I was left alone in our once happy home. I tried to move on, but it was hard. Everywhere I looked, I was reminded of her. I missed her laughter, her smile, her warmth. I tried to reach out to her, but she wouldn't return my calls. Months went by, and I started to rebuild my life. I found a new job, made some new friends, and started to feel like myself again. But there was always a void in my heart. I missed Mary, and I couldn't help but wonder what could have been if we had worked through our problems together. Years went by, and I heard through mutual friends that Mary had moved on. She had a new partner, a new job, a new life. It hurt to hear, but I knew that it was for the best. I never forgot what had happened with the cult, and I always wondered if Adam had truly changed. I heard rumors that he had started a new cult in another state, but I never had the courage to investigate. Looking back, I realized that I had been living in a bubble, thinking that I had the perfect life. But danger lurks in unexpected places, and that the people we love can sometimes hurt us the most. I will always carry the scars of what happened. I also learned that life is unpredictable.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more Forever Spooky on YouTube.